Good morning. We join with the other UUs in the tradition of inviting the gong 3 times, once in memory of those who have lived, built, and nurtured this congregation before us, once in honor of those calling us home here today, and once for those of her future. On this Sunday, July 21st of 2022, I am Jake Tranter, your service leader for today. We welcome you in this wonderful Umpqua Unitarian Universalist congregation of Roseburg. In this congregation, you can be yourself, but not by yourself. Whoever you are, whoever you love, however you describe yourself or name the holy, you are welcome here. We especially welcome those who are visiting for the first time. Those recently new to us and returning again are welcome as well, and re-welcomed. We are so glad that you are with us today. So please stay after the service for some coffee and tea so that we can all have some conversation and get to know each other. Much appreciation goes to our staff, our greeters, and our administrator, Genevieve Gonzalez. So, at this time, we will be having some announcements. If there is anybody in the congregation who would like to call for any announcements, now is your time. Come up, speak forth, or forever hold your peace. Okay. Other announcements are going to be in your order of service as well. Yes.
I just want to remind people that Thursday, Donna, is going to train us on reading the financial statements. Is there anything I need? So that will be Thursday at 11.
All right, Thursday at 11.
Everybody's invited.
Perfecto. Okay. So today's presenter will be Reverend Bonnie Anderson, accompanied by Reverend Andy Anderson with his beautiful music. Some more in-depth introductory will come later into the service. But at this time, we are going to be holding our fish collection. So, if I could get a couple of wonderful volunteers. We are moving now in compassion for those in need who are hungry, ill, and without shelter. Our congregation service to the larger Roseburg community is to collect your contributions of food or cash. This support of the fish pantry is a combined effort of several Roseburg churches. Our church offertory is later in the service, but thank you, and your gifts will help others. All right, and at this time, I am now going to invite Lily up on stage with me so that we can have our lighting of the chalice. The word courage comes from the Latin cor, which means heart. According to poet Mark Nepo, the original use of the word courage meant to stand by one's core, a striking concept that reinforces the belief found in almost all traditions that living from the center is what enables us to face whatever life has to offer.
To encourage means to hearten, to impart strength and confidence. This is our work as a religious community, to encourage one another to be bold in engaging the world around us, as well as what scares us internally, to give one another the confidence and heart to live as fully as possible.
With full hearts, we affirm our relationships with one another. We recognize our agency and our connectivity with power. and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, a symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be as our shared ministry encourages those within and beyond our walls. And now we have some opening words from Tanya.
Marquise.
It is now when we are called as witnesses of the world to mend it, to change its course, to restore it. It is now when we are called to act on our values.
Not to hide, not to fear, but to be bold and loud. It is now that we are called to continue our fight for justice, to organize, to speak up. It is now.
Let us gather. Let us give each other courage.
Let us worship.
Thank you, Lily. And now I would like to introduce Reverend Andy Anderson, who is going to provide us with some beautiful music. Reverend Andy Anderson has been described as a singer, a songwriter, and poet who always comes from the heart. He composes and performs visionary spiritual music that inspires and uplifts. Creativity flows through him as he is continually creating music. Andy's music deeply impacts people and appeals to all age groups, from children and teens to adults. It has been referred to as spiritual food for the soul. One of his greatest blessings is to inspire and wake up the world to a greater understanding of themselves through the power of his music. He brings a new awareness through which people experience shifts in consciousness that bring about transformation. Reverend Andy is also a proud Navy veteran. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay. All right. And now with a hymn from Reverend Andy Anderson.
When I wake up and see I control my destiny, and no thoughts or things I bring into my life every day. When I let the possibilities see the best in me, let go, let God give love and know. When I just release and let go, greet the world with love and know it's in my life. Every day I just give thanks and I say, oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit in me, for another wonderful, wonderful day in this thing we call life. I live a life of joy and peace, a life filled with harmony. I let it express in every way in my life, every day. I live so I can see, I can demonstrate all of my possibilities. I never worry or fear, I just listen to that still voice whispering in my ear. And then I let Spirit lead the way, give thanks for a brand new day, and know it's in my life. I decide to change my mind. I know I can do anything, be and have anything I desire. truth, and let it come shining through. I'm living from the inside out. I just see it right now. So here it is. Just align yourself with spirit and allow yourself to live it in your life. Oh. Just align yourself with spirit. Now just go on and be it. Just align yourself with spirit. Oh, not just celebrate and be it in your life. Oh, just align yourself with spirit and allow yourself to live it.
Wonderful music, Andy. Thank you very much. All right. Do we have any children that need to move downstairs? Out. I cast you out. No.
And we need another person? Or we'll sit on the stairs. You'll take your chair. Share the chair. Or as the kids call it, boomerang.
Okay. I am now once again going to invite Lily on stage. We are now going to get into our circle of life.
Now is the time in our service when we remember our joys and concerns with silent or spoken candlelighting regarding the significant milestones in our lives. I invite those who wish to light a candle, silent or spoken, to please form a line to my right. For those with spoken candles, please give your name and please be brief.
My name is Jacqueline, and it can be Jackie or JC, however you wish. Yesterday was a wondrous event here. We celebrated the life among us of Lori August. And let me tell you, the most essential thing is there were a few of us that are about this tall. Everybody else could hardly get through the door. I have never seen so many tall people in my life, men and women. I'll tell you, it was a real experience. Okay, that's just kind of the body reaction to the whole thing. But the heart and soul of it was wondrous. There were men there who said they had come to the adolescent stuff with me and Jim at our house, and here they are, and they're looking at me like I'm somebody who taught them something wondrous. And I'm thinking, really? You were a kid once? And so that was another thing. And it made me personally realize, as this is the personal time, that I have been a part of this organization for a long, long time. And I feel that my life here and my activity here has been well worth every moment I give it. It has returned to me a depth I didn't expect to find when I was there to celebrate Lori. But I'll tell you, everybody, all those big people were here celebrating Lori because she's their grandma. And they are, and it's not a huge family. Well, it is, they're all huge, but there wasn't a number. But it is something for me to remember how powerful we have been in the lives of many people. And my second candle is a blessing that we will find that power again.
My name is Carolyn Wilkinson, and I agree with everything Jason said. I'm just lighting one candle, but it's for a lot of people. And for my family, who will all be gathered on August 3rd for the final goodbye.
I'm lighting 3 candles. The first candle is for all that I feel I have received in being able to know those who have passed, so many of them, in the last few years. And as I was standing here looking at the memory tree, listening to Carol, I realized I wanted to light a second candle for those who have lost someone and what they're teaching me about surviving and courage and how to rebuild a life separate from which one day I may experience. And the third candle is for our friend Kevin Morris, who got COVID and is recovering. But again, a reminder that we need to keep ourselves safe at all times.
Hi, I'm Gemma Craig. An old friend called me the other day. She said her body's giving out and she's going to die. And she was very joyous about it because she was happy that it was going to lose. She was going to lose this body. She has lung problems. She has to have oxygen. But her spirit was glorious. I couldn't believe how happy she was. But after I hung up, I wished her well, transition. After I hung up, I started thinking about her and all the things we've done. We were children together. My mother's her best friend. We used to play together in the street and at her house, in the yard. I mean, it goes on and on. High school speed together. Girl Scout camp counselors together. On and on. I used to go visit So I really felt sad. So I got out of court and I wrote all these things down that I was thinking about and sent it right off. She said she wasn't going to play Words with Friends with me anymore. She was going to opt out, but she's still playing. So I don't know where she's going to die, but I hold her in my heart, and this candle is for Susan Larkin Fox.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Anderson, and I was thinking about the firefighters this morning in the middle of the night when thunder and lightning was going off, and how much of a challenge they have, and how grateful we are that there are people that are willing to fight these fires. This is for the firefighters and their safety.
I'm lighting 2 candles. One is for Martha and Joe, and then the other one is for everyone who has kept their joys and concerns in the recesses of their hearts. Thank you. It is now that time in our service where we have our offertory. This offering is a sacrament of the Free Church. We are supported by the voluntary generosity of all who join us. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared hopes and values. Could I have a few volunteers? For the gifts we have received, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world and to expand our beloved community.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
All right, thank you very much. And at this time, we have another hymn from Reverend Andy Henderson.
smile and wrap it up in a warm embrace. Today's the only day, only time, only place. So live your life to the fullest, it's the only way. Keep smiling in the face of adversity. Just keep on smiling and know everything's gonna be okay. Oh, keep on smiling, yeah. I let this greater love guide my way every day. I give thanks and let it lead the way. There's nothing sweeter than a smile on my face, so I trust and I know that it's all okay. See, just let it grow, let it show, so I will know, and I will let the whole world know. Keep smiling when things don't go my way, and just keep on smiling and know everything's gonna be okay. Oh, keep on smiling, keep on smiling every day. Keep smiling and just keep on smiling. Oh, keep on smiling. Everything's gonna be okay. Oh, keep on smiling, keep on smiling. Everything's gonna be alright. Keep on smiling, keep on smiling every day. Keep smiling, and just keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Just keep on smiling. Oh, keep on smiling. Everything's gonna be okay. In the face of adversity, things ain't going your way. Just remember, just keep on smiling. Yeah.
There's nothing I can say to that. So. It is at this time I would like to introduce Reverend Bonnie Anderson. Reverend Bonnie is an inspirational speaker who loves to see the spark light up in the eyes of those who are listening. She speaks of ordinary and extraordinary things with a new perspective, using many personal examples. She is a seeker who loves to explore ideas that lead us to more fulfilling life. She will help you expand the pure joy in your life. Bonnie believes that you have all the answers inside of you and has some questions that can help you to find those answers. She believes in you and knows how powerful you are. So without further ado, Reverend Bonnie Anderson.
Thank you, Jake. I think I probably wrote those words, but I thought, well, that's pretty good. I don't remember that. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a privilege to be here on this nice, cool morning. Andy and I are delighted to be back. So let's start out with a meditation. If you'd be willing to close your eyes and go within. Take a breath and let it out. And just begin to breathe slowly and deeply, slowly and deeply. I'd like to read you a poem by Rumi and have you embody these words. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So imagine with me that you are walking into this field beyond, this field of oneness. And you enter and you look around and you feel the energy of love, the energy of oneness. You see the light shining, the light of love. And you see beautiful wildflowers. You walk through the grasses, the soft grasses, and you fully embrace this place. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. So let's be in that fullness for a moment. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So as you fill up with this light and this feeling of oneness, as we let go of all judgment, breathe this in one more time and take it with you in your heart. As we live in this wonderful field beyond. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and return to the room. So here we are. My topic today is sacred boldness. You know, when I read this phrase, I just really resonated with it because there's boldness, but then you can elevate it to another place and say sacred boldness, which to me is boldness that comes from that inner knowing, that inner voice that we have, that we're always connected to. Jean Houston tells us that we are the instruments through which the quantum field is incarnating and becoming consciously aware of itself. The universe is dreaming itself awake out of pure potential, and it is dreaming itself awake through us. There's this infinite universe, infinite, and this infinite quantum field, and it manifests through us. It's infinite. It has an unlimited amount of solutions and ideas, but it needs us to manifest them on this earth plane. So we open ourselves to being that channel. Rumi says, you were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. And just like the beautiful introduction that Lily and Jake gave about courage, we have that, we're born with that, and sometimes we forget, don't we? It's easy to forget how powerful we are when we have so many things going on in the world, like today. It's easy to forget and fall into despair. We're looking at the earth warming. We feel the temperatures heating up and see the fires. We're seeing white supremacy spread in this country. And we're watching the politics of such hatred and division. Every time you turn the TV on, we're seeing that. And it's easy to, it can be frightening, can't it? It can be frightening. And I find myself getting into that fear mode myself. But, I have this wonderful book that I found called, I'm not going to remember the name of it. Anyway, it's about fear, and it's a really good book. Oh, I do have something, because I'm going to be teaching a class on it. If anybody's interested, you can ask me, and I don't. And it's called When Fear Speaks, Listen. Because there's a lesson in fear, isn't there? There's a lesson for us in fear. And an acronym that he uses for fear, I love. It's called Face Everything and Rethink. I've heard false evidence appearing real. I like that, but I really like face everything and rethink. Because I don't know about you, but when I get frightened by and overwhelmed by everything that's going on, sometimes I just want to sit in front of the TV with a bowl of ice cream and watch some, reality TV. That's terrible. I'm watching something about the Dallas Cowgirls. Right? And he's looking at me like, what are you doing? I just want to shut it off, right? And I think that happens to all of us. But what Dennis Merritt Jones is saying in his book is face everything and rethink, because it doesn't mean you can sit, you don't want to sit, you can sit in front of the TV and eat ice cream if you want, and sometimes it's good to do that, but is to look at what we're afraid of. Because there's lessons there. Rather than running away from it, face it and look at it. It's so interesting because Spirit told me to teach a class this summer on fear, and it's called Fear is Nothing to Be Afraid of, and I'm teaching it in August on Zoom, and once I did that, all this stuff started coming up to be afraid of. You know how that works. All these things. And then yesterday our air conditioning went out. So anyway. Yeah, right. So I wanted to tell a story. I wanted to talk to you about someone who epitomizes courage and sacred boldness. And you've heard about this woman before, but maybe you didn't know a lot about her. And Jake, if you would put up that. And that is Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman. We all know who she is. She was a little woman. She was only 5 foot tall. 5 foot tall. And this picture says that she was a nurse, a spy, and a scout, as well as all the other things that she did. So she was an amazing woman. She was born in 1822 in Maryland, and she was one of 9 children, and both of her parents were at different plantations as slaves, and so she never saw her father because she was with her mother until the later years of her life. But she was a tiny woman and she couldn't read or write. But what an impact she had on the world. When she was 6 years old, the people at her plantation noticed that she was good with children, so that her owner hired her out to do child care at 6 years old. And for years he did that, and then he got the money that she made, of course. But her life changed forever when she was 13 years old. She was on an errand in a store, and in came a runaway slave. And the call went out to stop him and for her to stop him, and she didn't. She refused to stop him. And the owner of this slave was so enraged that he picked up a 2-pound weight and threw it at the runaway, and it hit Harriet in the back of the head and fractured her skull. And ever since that happened, the rest of her life, she was in a lot of pain, and she had these episodes. They say narcoleptic episodes, but she called them visions, where she would get insights and she would know things, and she sort of had an intuition that she knew, that she trusted. But she said these visions gave her that idea, but they didn't even let her lay down after this happened. They sat her down someplace, and she went back to the fields shortly after. I mean, not that day, but she didn't have much time to recuperate before she was back out in the fields. And she was in chronic pain the rest of her life. At 20 years old, she and her brothers heard that they were going to be sold to slavery down south. So they decided to escape. And that had to be a momentous decision. I mean, we've all seen the movies, running through the fields with dogs and torches and, trying to cross rivers. And you can imagine, Andy and I were at a plantation someplace in the South years ago, and I looked through the swampy areas, and we were on a little bus tour of this plantation, and I thought, wow, that's where because there was a slave cabin back there, they had to run through areas like that, with bare feet probably, and it was very harrowing, but they did it. And then on their escape, they ran across a flyer that the owner had put out for their to be caught. And so her brothers got scared and they went back. And she didn't. She's 20 years old. And she managed to escape all alone, following the stars. And eventually she hooked up with the Underground Railroad, which, as you know, was a series of homes and places that harbored them and sent them on to the next place. And she escaped, and she arrived in Pennsylvania somewhere, maybe Philadelphia, I don't remember. And she said it was the promised land. It was beautiful. She was free. She was so happy and excited. This 20-year-old woman, if you can imagine, traveling from Maryland to Pennsylvania by herself in the woods. And she said that these visions helped her, because she seemed to have a knowing of when to step back and wait, of when to move forward, of when to hide, and something would tell her to stop, and she would stop, and then she would see someone out looking for her. So she was able to do that, but then after a while, she went back to get some of her family. Now, can you imagine going through that and then going back? And her friends said, "Don't go back, you're crazy. You may never get out, you're going to get caught." But she didn't. She went back and brought family and friends back to freedom. She kept going back. She went back 13 times over 10 years. Went back into the danger, into the swamps, into the unspeakable idea that she could be enslaved again. She was unstoppable. And it got even crazier, and in 1850, after the Congress passed the Fugitive Slave Law, because then the slavers could even go to the north. They could go into areas where the slave was living and free and bring them back to the South, and did that. So She was pretty amazing. Nobody really knew how many people she saved. She didn't really know either, but it's around 70 that she brought back, a lot of them family and friends. She, all of those people came back and have had children and grandchildren and spread from that one woman. And she wasn't through then, though. During the Civil War, she volunteered as a nurse. She led scouts through the marshes in South Carolina because she'd been there. She knew where they were. She knew how to navigate them. And she was the first woman to lead an assault in the Civil War. She led a troop of black soldiers on an assault and actually helped the war effort, the Civil War effort. After the war, she bought a house in New York. There were not many women, black women, who owned homes. There probably weren't that many white women then who owned homes. But she continued to be an activist. And she lived until her 90s. And she always counted on that intuition that she had, that higher knowing, that the little voice that would come to her and tell her when it was safe and when it wasn't. She was unstoppable. Jake, if you could show the next slide. Every dream, this is what she said, every dream begins with a dream. Remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. So when I'm sitting in front of the TV with my bowl of ice cream, I think, wow, what could I be doing? What can we each do? We don't have to go off into the marshes and help people escape, but there's many things that we can do. If we combine the boldness, that sacred boldness, with the voice that speaks to us from within, if we connect with that voice, we'll know that the inner truth is leading the way. We can be unstoppable because we're led by that higher part of ourselves that knows. Not the fearful part, but the higher part. Realizing that we are courageous. And we don't have to be paralyzed by what's happening around us. Another thing is when we're in fear, we're really concentrating on what we don't want, aren't we? We're thinking, oh my God, this could happen. And you know what happens when you concentrate on what you don't want? You get more of it. So maybe even what we do is just spend time every day, a little bit of time, visioning what we want, how we want the world to be, visioning the peace in the world. Keep our eyes on what we want, and it comes from that sacred knowing. So it might be something as small as spending time every day in meditation, meditating for peace, being a calm presence. When your friends, and I've done it, right? We've all done it, like, oh, what if this happens, or what if this happens politically? Instead of doing that, just becoming calm and knowing that, as the song was, all is well, all is well. Face everything and rethink. Face everything and rethink. There's an organization called Vote Forward that I've worked with, where you can send letters to people and texts, and they send you everything that you need, and you can send them out, and you can have a party. They invite you to have a party where everyone gets together and writes letters and sends them out. And it's not saying vote for this person, it's saying vote. It's encouraging people to vote, especially in those states where it's close. It's encouraging people to get out and vote and express what they want. So let's face everything and rethink. And Jake, would you put that last slide up, please? If you hear the dogs, keep going. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If there is shouting after you, keep going. Don't ever stop. Keep going. If you want a taste of freedom, keep going. So thank you, everyone. And now I think Andy has a song.
Sometimes I lose my way, and even in the darkest day, there's a light always shining bright, leading me into the light. When I stumble, can't find my way, something within will always guide my way. I listen to that voice inside, reminding me that's where my love resides. Every day is a perfect day to surrender, let it lead the way. It's in my life, it's all I am. I release and let go. I know nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible. When I forget, nothing is impossible. I remember that everything is possible. Things in life will always come and go. It's so good to know what you know. We are free and one with all of life. Keep smiling, everything's alright. I am lifted each and every day. Truth and love, oh, is my way. I am marvelous, I am beautiful. Celebrate, speak my word. I know nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible. When I forget, nothing is impossible. I remember that everything is possible. Yeah. Nothing is impossible. I know that everything is possible. And when I forget that everything is possible, I remember that everything is possible. Nothing's impossible. With spirit, we'll love everything is possible. In my neighborhood, everywhere I go, I'm one with the universe. Just let it flow. All around me, it's all I see. All the gifts already given to me. It's up to me to know and believe. Speak my word. Today I'm free. 'Cause I know nothing's impossible. Impossible. Nothing's impossible.
And that's our message from Harriet today, little Harriet. Nothing's impossible. So is there anyone that would like to share anything, something that you might use from the service today, what you heard? Any comments?
Well, great thanks. And what I've got written down here on the bottom line is keep your eyes on what you want. But it's so much fun to bitch and complain about how stupid everybody else is and blah, 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 blah. That just somehow feels powerful, but it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And it makes me yell at the television, and that doesn't accomplish anything either. So being clear, and what you're saying she had a belief in her hearing of what her heart wanted. She believed it, not because the world was helping her believe in herself, surely, but that really does take courage, and that is what that word means, and that's where it comes from. Thank you very much to the two of you for making that very clear. So, yeah, keep my eyes on what I want, and know never to change that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. That, it can be really seductive, can it, to fall into that trap of complaining and worrying together. Yeah. Anybody else? All right. I think, oh, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say a whole lot of things, but especially thank you both for this, truly. When you said, let's meditate, as soon as you started reading Rumi, I just started crying, so there was no meditating. I was meditating in a pool of tears of joy. And hearing you say, and JC, what you said is keep your eyes on what you want. Picture what you want. And we all have similar visions of what we really, really, really want. So I think we share that within, our community and many, many more. And Andy, your beautiful playing was so inspirational and just so uplifting. And I love the keep smiling because it's so close to my heart. And keeping your eyes on the prize, keeping your focus on what you do want, and knowing that it's possible. And just keep smiling all the way. And I just wanted to thank you. This is so inspirational. I really can't even put into words how much this has meant to me. But thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And out in that field of flowers that Rumi talks about, someday, out in that field of flowers that Rumi talks about, someday I'll meet you all there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. And I'll turn it back over to Jake and Lily. Or Jake.
Changes abound. Around us, within us, between us. In our communities, our neighborhoods, and our beloved faith communities.
Changes abound. May we each find the balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world.
The balance between the old and the new, between the known and the unknown, between the familiar and the perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. And now Lily is going to extinguish the chalice. And as she does that, let's all form that circle. Grab hands and get ready to send off with Go Lift It Up.
Before he shuts this sound off, in the manner of being bold, this is a shout out to both Jake and Lily and their absolute planning and completion together of a full Sunday service. Thank you.